and crown a Elmhurst winner and a homemade winner for milk that goes in coffee. Here we go. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me today. If you don't know, my name is Denali, and today we are going to be comparing these 3 Elmhurst creamers to 3 homemade creamers / milks of the same components. So I'm kind of on a journey to find gut healthy, non-dairy milk alternatives that are good for espresso based drinks, meaning they froth well, they go good with coffee, all that good stuff. The problem is that with a lot of non-dairy milk alternatives, they add a lot of like emulsifiers and that kind of thing, so the milks froth up really nicely if they don't have a lot of fat in them, you know, for instance with oat milk or anything like that. So I'm kind of on this never-ending journey, and I'm going to make a giant video of the best that I find, but in doing so, I need to try some. So currently, my favorite non-dairy, milk substitution to use in my espresso-based drinks at home is my homemade hemp milk. I find that it froths the nicest. It's a little earthy, so it goes well with coffee, because coffee is a little earthy. It doesn't take over the flavor, but it adds nicely to it. So I'm going to show you guys how I made all of these. So here we have my homemade oat milk, then my homemade hemp milk, then my homemade cashew milk. Same thing with the Elmhurst. We have oat milk, hemp milk, cashew milk. So the reason we are trying these out is because they only have 6 ingredients in them. They say no gums or emulsifiers. However, the oat milk, because there is no fat in oat milk naturally, does have dipotassium phosphate in it, which acts as kind of like an emulsifier in this. And then in the hemp milk, we've got hemp cream made of hemp seeds and filtered water, whole grain oats, 2% or less of cane sugar, and minerals, meaning salt and dipotassium phosphate. So same thing with the hemp milk. And then the cashew milk just has filtered water, cashews, cane sugar, salt, and natural flavors, which natural flavors, I don't know if you guys know how I feel about that, but I don't feel great about it. But I feel better than a lot of things. So these are really simple ingredients, minimal ingredients. So we'll go over to my homemade ones. So in the oats, I just have gluten-free, whole, old-fashioned oats, filtered water, a splash of vanilla extract, and a whole date. For the hemp milk, I have hemp seeds, filtered water, a date, a splash of vanilla extract, and for the cashew, I have soaked cashews, filtered water, splash of vanilla, and a date. So they're all the same. I don't know if they make a coconut milk. I've actually never seen it, but I would add a coconut milk here if they had it, but I'll definitely be finding like my favorite coconut milk, just not in this, So I'm obviously not going to try these all out today because that would be insane. I am going to start with my homemade milks because they will expire faster. I have not opened these yet. So today I'm just going to start with the oat milk. I'm going to make an oat milk latte. Tomorrow I'll make a hemp milk latte, and then the next day I'll make a cashew milk latte, and then I will open these and go after them and do the exact same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use like a latte method because I am really trying out the milks here. I don't typically make lattes. I'm more of like a cortado ratio type of girl, but I'll do a latte. I'll do like a 3-to-1 ratio. So I'll do like 1/3 of my cup is going to be an espresso shot, and then 2/3 is going to be the milk. So not like a really heavy milk latte, but for me it will be heavy milk. So it'll be a really good test. So let me first kind of explain why I'm making this video, and then we will get into my homemade oat milk latte. So basically, I have digestive issues. I think a lot of people do. And I think so many times we think that we are consuming something healthy for us if we're consuming like a milk alternative, if we think maybe we have like a dairy intolerance or like a lactose intolerance. But the truth is that sometimes using those substitutes means adding a bunch of additives, and that could potentially be worse for our gut than just consuming the dairy, So these specifically are quite expensive. That's why I wanted to kind of show you guys that the homemade version is just as good. Like really personally, I have been using the hemp milk for months and months now because I find it's my favorite. I have a fridge full of dairy alternatives and creamers and all that kind of stuff, but I just like my homemade one the best, and it is quite affordable. A lot of coffee shops will use like Oatly or like the cheaper versions of the plant-based milks, and those can literally be worse for us than like just consuming dairy. So for instance, let's look at Milkademia. We've got sunflower oil, natural flavors, calcium carbonate, sunflower lectin, locust bean gum, gellan gum, potassium citrate, potassium phosphate. So it's not the worst I've ever seen. I don't think I have anything super bad in here because I'm like on this journey of finding less ingredient milks, but let me see what I have. Okay, so this is a super expired oat creamer, organic oat creamer. So it is organic, so that we're starting off pretty good there. Let's see. Canola oil is the third ingredient. Oatly, Silk, what other brands are there? Pretty much if you're reading the ingredients, like don't just look at the front label and see like vegan, whatever, bleh. Read the ingredient list, and if there's like a lot of gums or a lot of like additives and preservatives and all that kind of stuff, if you have gut issues, stay away. I personally have SIBO, so it's kind of like an underlying cause of IBS. So if you have IBS symptoms, I would definitely stay away from like additives, gums, emulsifiers, like lectins, fake sugar. Fake sugar is a big one that will bloat you to the moon and back. So I lightly strain these. You can kind of see that there's stuff down here, like remnants of like the actual hemp seeds and the actual cashews and stuff. That's just a personal preference. You can strain it more finely and have like a thinner type of milk, but I personally like to froth these, and so I like a lot of fat to be in them so they froth up really nicely. And I think that the extra like particles and stuff at the bottom just kind of make it more like nutrient dense, so I don't mind it. But I have, I get a little bit of like hemp seeds in my mouth, which is fine. All right. At the end of this video, I'll let you guys know kind of like a small list of ingredients that you should try to avoid in your milks and or creamers, and specific brands that you should try to avoid if you're having gut or digestive issues. But let's see how these work. All right, let's get into my homemade oat milk. All right, you guys, I've got my espresso shot, double espresso shot, and then my frothed milk. So I'm gonna fill out kind of like this chart that I've made for myself. I'm going to evaluate the texture, the taste, if it separates, and just give it an overall score. Here we go, in with the shot. Everything's still nice and warm. This is, you can tell there's no fat in here. It is not frothed nicely. There will be no art design here. I actually can't do any art design, so. And I even was like kind of heavy-handed with this froth, to be honest. So, oat milk. So that's why oat milk always has the most emulsifiers. There's like this kind of viral thing going around a couple weeks ago that was like, oat milk's bad for you, but they're talking, it's not, the oats aren't bad for you. They're talking about the additives and the emulsifiers, because oat milk doesn't have any fat in it, like we mentioned, so it's actually not very good to make an espresso drink with. My camera is crooked. That's okay. Everything's fine. In my personal opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, hemp milk is the best milk to make espresso drinks with. Cashew is a close second, but cashews can sometimes hurt people's stomach with sensitive guts because it's like a lectin and, all this stuff, and it's like technically a fruit and is all the crazy things around cashews. So, but cashew milk in general is better because the cashews are soaked before. So anyways, should we try it? Okay, cheers. Oh, wow. I hate that. Wow, it tastes really oaty. Ooh, I don't hate it. I lied. Ooh, it feels like really light. Like it's not like heavy. I can definitely taste like all of the coffee, which I love. It's very silky. Okay, so the texture is, I'm gonna rate it kind of two different ways. So like frothability is like a 1. Okay, it didn't like froth at all. And it was just kind of like a little bit of foam at the top and it just faded right away. Texture though, however, is very smooth and silky. Actually, those words kind of describe more like velvety. Like when I think of smooth and silky, I think of like rich and velvety. This is more like light, so it's like light and silky. So the taste is very oaty. I can definitely taste its oat milk, but to be honest, I get most of my drinks at coffee shops with oat milk mainly because they always have it. If they have coconut, I always go with coconut, but a lot of places don't have cashew, they don't have hemp, so they'll offer you oat, you know, full fat dairy or soy. And I usually stay away from soy. For thyroid health and hormone health, I just avoid soy at all costs. So I usually go with oat, unless there's coconut, of course. And the reason is because I don't really like almond milk. I find that it takes over the flavor. So we're not even going to get into almond milk in this evaluation. We will in another one, but I find that almond milk takes over the taste of the coffee. But oat milk is a close second. But I don't like the way coconut milk tastes heated up. So I have like such a big issue. So when I order an iced coffee, I always try to order coconut milk. If I order a hot coffee, I either ask for cashew milk, hemp milk. If they don't have either of those, which they usually don't, I will settle for oat milk, knowing that I'm having all those additives and everything. But I don't mind the way it tastes in my coffee. But if you compare the way an oat milk latte from a coffee shop tastes to this, I like this better because it's less like burnt oaty. It's more like fresh. I don't know how to explain that, but when I have a lot of oat milk lattes at restaurants or at cafes, I find that it's like burnt oats, like baked oats. It's a little like heavy. And this is like really light. So I'm just gonna write oaty, but light. And then we have to see if it separates. The overall for this in a latte, which is how we're testing these, is going to be a 5 out of 10. It's not bad. It's better for a flat white, obviously. So actually, let's do that too. Let's add what drink best suits the milk, and that would be flat white in this case. Frothability, not really good. So I'm gonna let this sit for a second, see if it separates, and then I will let you guys know. All right, you guys, it's been a little while and I'm looking at this. It's not separating that bad. So I have a good chunk of just espresso at the top here, and then it looks like most of the milk is like I don't know what that is, a centimeter or two down. But it's not doing that kind of like snowfall separation or anything like that. So I would say separation is like light separation. If it was on a scale, I would say 2 to 3. And there we have it, homemade oat milk. Let's see what Elmhurst is bringing to the table. I will say I feel like I can taste, because the oats are so like light in a sense, I can taste a little bit of the vanilla, a little bit of the date that I put in there, which I love, and it tastes so good to me. I'm actually really enjoying this cup of coffee. Not me having my 3rd cup of coffee. Help me! Alright, you guys, yesterday we did the homemade oat milk review. Today we are going to do the Elmhurst oat milk review. So let's just get into it. I'm about to make a drink with this. So I decided I should try the milks without the coffee first, just to make sure that I like the oat milk or cashew milk or hemp milk before I make the coffee, because if I don't like the milk without the coffee, then I'm not going to like the coffee drink that I make. So I want to make sure that I like the milk before I make the drink with it and then do a review on it. So let's take a little sip of the milk first. Here we go. That tastes sweetened. Is this not sweetened? Oh, it is sweetened. There's cane sugar on this. Okay. Okay, I don't hate it. I don't love it. Not gonna lie. I don't hate it. Okay, so it certainly froths better, this Elmhurst milk, but does it taste better? And at what expense does it froth, you know? At a chemical additive that is potentially harmful to our nutritional uptake and our gut health? Is that really worth it? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's make a drink. Always. Ooh, yeah, you can make some art with this. I always froth too much milk. Someone please help me. Okay, so you can see, kind of. You can't see. Let me show you. Okay, so you can see that you could potentially make some good latte art with this milk, much better than the homemade milk. I froth too much, but if I were to finish it with this, like, let's see if we can do this. You can see. Let's do a little cappuccino action, shall we? There we go. We love to see it. All right, so let's add a new category to our evaluation list. Let's add latte art and the ability, right, of the milk to make latte art. You know, let's say 0 to 5. 5 being, you know, full cream cow's milk latte art, and then 0 being homemade oat milk. So we'll do the homemade, we'll put it at 0 because realistically you cannot make latte art. So the Elmhurst one, I would give the latte art abilities like honestly, I think a 4. But let's taste this. No. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I think Elmhurst does such a good job of minimal ingredient and nice barista abilities, but it still takes over. Oat milk just takes over the taste of coffee. I taste too much oat milk. I don't hate it. Do not get me wrong, okay? It's a lot lighter than, say, a hemp milk or a cashew milk, and I like that, and I think there's a time and place for that. Personally, I think that oat milk is just best as like a 1-to-1 ratio drink. So just a drink with equal parts espresso and oat milk, that is perfect here. If you gave me this in a latte, and especially the way they make lattes in America, where they just basically have no rules with ratios, they just pull a double espresso shot, and then they just put in as much milk as they want to fill the cup. A little tip on that, if you like really strong coffee and not just like a bunch of milk, just order like a 16-ounce latte. Most coffee shops will typically serve that with 2 shots, a double espresso shot, and then fill the rest of the cup with milk. Just ask for double shots or like an extra shot or anything like that, so then you can have a higher ratio of more espresso to the milk. We're still enjoying this. Let's evaluate it. I like it. I'm actually quite enjoying this drink. I'm going to give frothability, we're going to give it a 4.5. The texture is still thin, light, frothy. That's silly to say, but it is. It froths nicely and it holds its froth really nicely. They've really dialed in this recipe. It's actually really good. I wish more coffee shops carried this line, but it's a little bit more expensive. It's so frustrating. They just use not as good stuff, but that's okay. The taste is oaty. It isn't too sweet at all, so I really like that. I'm going to jump to the best drink to make with it, which would be probably a cappuccino, because that's what ended up... I don't know how to spell cappuccino. I know that's not right. All right, separation. I'm going to assume there's going to be like no separation. It's been sitting here for a while because we've been chatting. So I'm going to go light, separation 0 to 1, and let's jump back to the flavor. I said that it tasted a little bit synthetic, like a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I said before that it tasted a little bit synthetic, like a little bit not natural. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So what is that word? Chemically? No. chemical, yeah, processed. I don't know the word I'm looking for. I'm gonna write synthetic for now, but there's a better word, I know it. Overall, I'm gonna give this one a 7.5 out of 10 because it tastes delicious. And I'm just evaluating this based on taste, ability with espresso, how it tastes with the coffee, does it take it over, does it not, blah, 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 blah. Not necessarily taking into consideration the ingredients at this moment. We'll do that at the end. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of this, and I will see you guys tomorrow for our homemade cashew milk. I'm excited. We are on to homemade cashew milk. I just ate one of my like oat protein balls that I make, and they go so good with coffee. So I know that my palate is prepared for this with no judgment. This is the thickest milk of all the milks I made, so hopefully it's not too thick. If it is, I'll water it down a little, but I think it's good. I want to taste it before I make a coffee with it, just to make sure I like it without the coffee, you know? So cheers. Ooh, it's a little bit grainy, but all of my milks are a little bit grainy just because I don't strain them like crazily, because I like there to be a little bit of flavor in there, but it's really good. It's so tasty. Like, same thing with this, is super sweet. You can taste like the dates and the vanilla. I love that. It's so good. So let's make a drink with it, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, my friends, we have got our espresso shot, our milk. Ouch, burned myself. Let me give it a little stir, even though I'm gonna pour it anyways. Oh, that's the milk top. Why did I do that? Oh. Right, let's make ourselves a drink. I loved the espresso pull I just made. I was obsessed with it. I'm loving this Allegro coffee I'm trying out. I mean, it's like, I always drink Allegro coffee, but the new coffee I'm trying out is really nice. So this frothed a lot nicer. Interesting thing, it smelled a lot better while I was frothing it than the oat milk did, or than the hemp milk did. So it kind of smelled like really nice, like not burny, not, I don't know how to explain it, just like nice aroma coming from it. I still made too much milk. Every time I do this, I make too much milk. And let us to try. Ooh, it's nutty. It's nutty. Oh, it tastes good though. Here's what I like about cashew milk. It gives that nuttiness without taking over like the coffee taste. It doesn't taste like cashew, it just tastes like nutty. Like if you could summarize like nuttiness, I don't feel like, oh, this is a cashew latte with some coffee in it, like I kind of feel with the oat milk. So let's do frothability. Let's give it a 2. Texture is thicker. So it's like kind of thick and creamy, definitely creamy. Taste is nutty, sweet. I like it a lot. This is what I'm looking for in a latte. Best drink for it. What do we say for the last one? Flat white? I mean, I guess this is the same. That's what I made. Best drink for this. Okay, so you know what? I almost want to revise my oat milk one. I almost want to say like the best drink to pair the oat milk with would have been maybe something like a iced latte or even a cold brew. And that's because it doesn't froth at all. Like there's no reason. And it's super thin and light. And I feel like that pairs well with an iced drink. This, I want to say, like, because it's so thick and creamy, I would always put it with an espresso shot, just because I think anything else it would just consume. So I'm going to say flat white. And overall, this drink with this in it, God, it's so creamy. It's just coating the side of this cup. Do you guys see that? I don't think you see that. I'm going to bring it in closer for you. Do you see it just coating the sides? So, oh, we knew that would happen, right? We knew it. Just a matter of time. Overall, I think I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10 for me. There we have it. We're gonna sit and let this separate or not separate, depending. And I will check back in with you guys when we have results of that. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the Elmhurst cashew milk review. Peace. Okay, so it's definitely been long enough to know whether or not it's going to separate, and there is literally no separation happening. So I think we're in the clear with this one. Separation. How did I write the last one? I wrote separation light. This one is like very light. I would say 1. Like 1, because it's not like super duper duper smooth, but there's really no separation. So after quite a while, this is kind of what it's looking like. So you can also see here that there's like no separation. Let me bring you to a better view. Yeah, you can also see here there's like no separation. It's really consistent. You can see a little bit of like nuttiness in there, but I did strain it again before I steamed it, so it should be super smooth now. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hello, you guys. Okay, so I'm in the middle of filming another video, coffee video, but I'm finding that this espresso shot that I just pulled, I don't love without milk. So I figured let's just jump right into this portion of the creamer or milk review and pop out the Elmhurst cashew milk. I actually have never had this, so this will be a first for me. We're gonna see how it froths and everything. I'm currently in the middle of moving, so I'm in an empty apartment right now. We're all moved into the new house, and this is just like the last video that I'm gonna do to kind of like bid my apartment adieu and thank it for everything that it has done for me. So I wanted to make a final video, and I'm gonna steam this milk really quick, pair it with this before it gets too cold. I just brewed it, it's still hot honestly, and let you guys know how it goes. I don't have my grading papers here, so I'll have to kind of like remember off the top of my head what the evaluation notes were. So let's just steam it real quick. All right, so I'll be the first to admit that I'm not fully prepared for this. I've got no cups here. So let's see what we can figure out. Cup. Okay. Oh, here we go. Thank God for dirty dishes, am I right? So this milk is actually so silky and frothed really nicely. Like, that's actually so impressive. If I had something here, I might even be able to make, oh yeah, you could make latte art here. You could definitely make latte art. So this is cashew milk, and I don't have the greatest reaction to cashews, so I'm not gonna put a ton in. I'm just gonna make it kind of like that color. And we're gonna try this. Oh, I am having such bad allergies. Send help. Also, if you didn't notice, I'm standing because I don't even have a chair. I really wanted to do my last video here, but now in hindsight, it's kind of like, trying a little hard. It is silky. It is silky and it is frothed really nicely. So whatever it is, I'll give it like an 80%, 85%. So maybe 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5. Oh man, that tastes good. These two, so this is the coffee we're working on. It's actually a light roast. It's the Ethiopia Sukuto from Allegro, and it is freaking delicious. And with this, just a little bit of cashew milk right now. Oh my God. Oh my God, it tastes like peaches and cream. If you don't like your coffee to have like fruity notes or like jammy, like sweet, sugary type stuff, you're not gonna like this coffee. But I actually really like this milked cashews. I don't feel like I can taste cashews at all, so it doesn't like overtake the flavor. It's nice and frothy, but it doesn't get that like bad froth where it kind of like just sits at the top. I have a 3 Trees almond milk that does that, so if you don't drink it fast enough, it kind of gets like this foamy, like kind of like bathtub foam at the top of it, and it's not really nice. This is delicious. So I like I said, I'm forgetting the notes, but You know, the flavor is nice. I feel like it pairs really well with coffee. Like, it's made for coffee. Doesn't have a lot of its own flavor. It froths really nicely. And this has the least amount of ingredients. It's just got cashews, cane sugar, water, salt, and natural flavors. So who knows what the natural flavors are, but whatever they are, let's hope that they're not from a beaver's butt. All right, I'm gonna give this overall like a 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. I really like it. I'm gonna go home and try to find that paper and kind of put down my notes on it before I forget, but I'm really loving this. I'm actually wondering if I'm gonna add the rest of it to my cold brew for the rest of the day. And I just decided that I'm going to. So here we go. Stay with me. Well, okay, so that was Elmhurst cashews. Hemp milk is next, and then I'll do homemade hemp milk and all that kind of jazz. But I will be in a new location when you see me next, so I want to thank you guys for joining me and saying bye to my apartment. I'll see you guys when I open the next bottle of milk. Hello, my loves. Welcome back. It's been a second since I've done one of the milk reviews. I'm out of breath because I just walked up the stairs, per usual. But today we're going to go into the hemp Elmhurst barista edition milk. This is the last Elmhurst one, and then actually right after this, I think I'm going to, God, this lighting isn't great. I'm going to do the homemade one. I already have it made and everything, so is that better? That dark hole, let me turn that light on. So I've got some Colombian coffee that I just made from Allegro. I just steamed this up. It looks beautiful. Let's see if you can see it. Probably not. Yeah, that's not great lighting, but it looks really good. I have a hunch that this is going to be the best of the Elmhurst as far as like, can you make a drink with it? So let's make a drink. Maybe I'll actually be able to make a drink today. That would be wild. I can never do it because I always make too much milk and then the froth. Oh my God. Okay, it's just a cappuccino. I find that this would be very hard to make an actual latte art with. But maybe I just didn't steam it well. Oh, you guys didn't even see that. You guys didn't even see that, but you can see it now. It looks so good. Okay, this is overflowing. Let's give this puppy a review, shall we? The ingredients are beautiful. This one is actually, I think, the best. It has just hemp cream, organic whole grain oats, sugar, and minerals. So it doesn't have any binders or emulsifiers or anything like that because of the fat and the hemp seeds. So I think this is gonna be my top one, so long as it tastes good. For me personally, I do like to make homemade hemp milk the most. I don't make like homemade oat milk or cashew milk anymore. Hemp milk is my go-to, and it's so stinking easy. Anyways, frothability out of 5 has got to be like a 4.5. It does pretty good. Texture, I would say it's like thick. Well, let's give it a try. Oh my God, that's so good. I'm so happy about this. Texture, I would say like, I don't know, what was I saying on the other ones? Light, thin, silky. Okay, this feels like thick. Taste, I would say it's a little bit earthy, which goes well if you're like, it goes well with coffee in my opinion. But it doesn't have like a strong taste. Like you can't be like, oh my gosh, that tastes like hemp. Like you can if you like drink cashew milk, you can say, like especially almond milk. Almond milk for me tastes like almonds. Like it's so strong, like you can't taste the coffee. Separation, we have to wait and see. The best drink to make with this would easily be a cappuccino. Latte art, honestly, I would say it's hard. I think like I frothed it like I froth most things, and it just froths a little bit like airy. Maybe that was my bad. Maybe I just did it a little bit too airy, not as silky. I tried to froth less milk this time, which means it gets hotter faster, which means like I usually like to froth a little bit longer. Anyways, I'm gonna say 2.5 because it's possible, but it's maybe a little harder than some. An overall score, even like no matter what happens with the separation, I doubt it's gonna separate at all because none of these have been, is probably like the highest rating only not a 10, because nothing can be a 10, you know? You have to leave room for improvement always, or else you think you're just at your peak, and you know, you can't just be at your peak, or else what is there to look forward to? So I'm gonna say 9, 9, 9. I'm gonna say 9. 9. It's a 9. Pretty good. So now I'm gonna go make another drink so we can get this stinking video done with. I started this like months ago. Like, I live in a new house since I started this. You guys can tell based on the footage. I'm gonna go make a drink with my homemade hemp milk that I made last night. And I will meet you guys back here in a minute. God, look how cute she is. That is beautiful. Dang, Elmhurst really knows what's up. They do such a good job of keeping their ingredients like really minimal and then still like knocking it out of the park. I'm very happy with them. Okay, here we go. Last milk of the Elmhurst first homemade review. Clean ingredients only. I typically put a date in when I make all my milks, but I made this milk last night and I didn't have a date, so there is no date in here. So there is no sweetener at all. So we will see. It is like way silkier than the other one. I'm not, let me just clarify something. I have no reason to lie here. I'm not selling my milk. This is not promoting like mine's better than the store-bought one and buy mine because I don't sell milk. So I'm just being completely honest here. But it seems like a lot silkier, like a little bit, I don't really know, like it's gonna do the job. I also think I'm gonna get a thick bubble at the top, like even though it is still silkier and the like bubbles are way smaller, there's really no like air bubbles between it, it still kind of like looks like the top of like a freshly poured beer, you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, but I'll try to show you, but we've learned that this lighting is not doing the best. So you can see that this like top is like really foamy, but it's like thin foam. So, ooh, that tasted earthy. One thing that I will note is that when I make my hemp milk, I strain it very coarsely. Like, I don't put it through a ton of straining bags and stuff like that. I just put it through like a really fine mesh strainer a couple times. So it's a little earthy, but I don't mind. All right, let's see what we can do here. Yeah, this foam looks like very intense. It's like not coming out. It's a scooper. It's a scooper. Oh no, I don't have a scoop. Oh no, please hold. This is what happens when you don't do your videos out in your kitchen. Okay. So oh, it's already separating and that's fine. Okay. So it's like the scoopy, we gotta scoop it. Full blown cap. Extra froth. Okay. Let me see. Out of breath. Here we go. So we already have separation, you can see. Like, that is some serious separation, but there are just hemp seeds and filtered water in this. So a little separation, never hurt anybody. I'm gonna give it a little stir to incorporate everything together before I taste it. Tired. Cheers. This one just has more taste, like it just has more hemp taste. The other one I could only describe as earthy. If you gave it to me in a taste test and I didn't know what it was made out of, I would say, I don't know, it's earthy. This one I can like pinpoint that it's made out of hemp, you know what I mean? But there's also an argument for that maybe like mine's more potent, and I know that it is. I made a very low ratio hemp milk last night because I didn't measure it, so I just kind of made it in this little thing, and then I realized after that it's very small and I put a lot of hemp seeds, so it's kind of like strong. But also you're getting like all those nutrients and fats and proteins and stuff from the hemp seeds, so I don't know. Anyways, frothability, I'm gonna say 4, frothed really nicely. Texture, thick, creamy. Taste, earthy, strong hemp. Separation, This one's really bad. I'm gonna have to give it a 5. Like, it separates pretty instantly. Best drink to make. That is a toughie. I would say a cortado because I think I did, like 2 to 1 here. And I think that it needs to be more of a 1 to 1 ratio. Latte art, 0. 0, 0, 0. Zero. Overall score, I'm gonna have to give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Which is funny because this is like what I use for all my drinks. I'm wondering if there's something, because the ratio was so like low. Like I put like a 1/4 a cup of hemp seeds to like not 4 cups of water, like max 2. So I'm wondering if that's making it separate so bad, because I use this 4 times a week and I've never noticed it separate that bad. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hello. Okay, it is a long time later. As you can tell by my hoodie, I am actually ready for bed at the moment. It's still a little bit of light, so I'm gonna try to squeeze this in before I lose it all. We got my computer shining on too, so maybe that will help. Unplanned, but it's gonna work. Let's see if I can. All right. So we're gonna go over the final scores and wrap this thing up and crown a Elmhurst winner and a homemade winner for milk that goes in coffee. Here we go. In 3rd place for the Elmhurst milks, we've got oat milk with a 7.5. In 2nd place, we've got cashew milk with an 8 out of 10. And in 1st place, we've got none other than my favorite, hemp milk, with a 9 out of 10. I stand by these opinions, and based on that, I don't really even ever buy oat milk, to be honest. I think it is a fad going around right now, and people are going to realize that it's actually not that good, and oats have literally no fat in them, so they have to have emulsifiers in them, which can really upset the gut, and especially if you already have a compromised digestive system and gut, then you'll notice it kind of like right away. If you don't have any issues with your gut already and you are constantly drinking this milk every day, it can have negative effects on your gut in the long term. So just keep that in mind. The cashew milk does have some fat, so they don't have to add emulsifiers if they don't want to, but it always makes the product like look more like real milk. So, it kind of just depends. Me personally, those 2 milks, if I want them, I'll make them. I won't probably buy them, especially not the barista blend, because that's the thing. They make these specific milks, barista blend, but that basically just means they're adding in chemicals and fake shit to make it work for steaming, to make it not separate in the coffee, to make it froth like regular whole milk from a cow. So it's good for coffee companies to have it because it makes the product look right, but it's not ideal for our tummies or even just our entire bodies. If it were me, oat milk and cashew milk, I would always make it. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple. All you need is a blender and a cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer, which most people already have. And then for the hemp milk, I really like it. There are no emulsifiers whatsoever. The only thing that are added is minerals, which is kind of like an unknown thing, but I actually think that they specify what minerals in parentheses on the label, if I'm not mistaken. And then they use real cane sugar, which I'm happy about. And then everything else is just hemp milk and oats. So that's promising. I would buy that again. I probably will. I really like the way it tastes in coffee. So it's just like totally completes the package for me. I'm really happy with it. I don't typically make like a full milk drink, espresso drink every day. I usually make an espresso, whether it's hot or cold, usually hot. And then I just add like a dash of milk. So in this case, I would add like a dash of hemp milk. I honestly wouldn't even like froth it and stuff like every day. That's more of like a weekend splurge for me. Let's get into the homemade stuff. All right, so it looks like the homemade milk is a little bit different, but not far off. Oat milk came in 3rd with 5 out of 10. Hemp milk came in at a close 2nd with 6 out of 10. And cashew milk actually won with 6.5 out of 10. So not a huge difference between the hemp and the cashew. Honestly, I think it's because like they didn't froth much differently and they both kind of separated. But I think that the hemp milk was just a little bit too like hempy, and with the cashew milk, I couldn't like really taste it. It was like cashews, like cashews. But with the hemp milk, I kind of felt like that. And then it also separated a little bit worse. But in general, they performed similarly. To be honest, I don't drink cashew milk because it kind of upsets my stomach. It makes me a little bit more bloated than the hemp milk. For those of you that don't know, just in case someone's watching and is experiencing the same thing, I have SIBO. I have yet to eradicate it. I've got some like actual structural blockages, which is why every time I treat it, it comes back. So I'm working on those at the moment, and then I will treat it hopefully for the final time pretty soon. And then maybe I will sit better with cashews and almonds. But basically, all of these things kind of make me bloat except for the hemp. And I think it's because it's high fat, and I do better with fats than carbs because the bugs in my small intestine kind of feed off of sugars and carbohydrates. So I do a lot better with hemp milk. So if you guys are also experiencing like extreme bloat or just digestive distress in any way, you know, try it out. Try out like a higher fat situation. It may not be right for you, but if you have SIBO, I can almost guarantee it is. Anyways, so there we have it. Hemp milk is my baby, is my kind of newfound love. Like I mentioned, I used to be like a coconut milk whore, but I do not like coconut milk hot. I have figured that out. Like if it's done by me, I can do it, but if I get it at a cafe, no, forget about it. They always make it too hot and it tastes like curdled or something. Like, I don't even know if that's the right word, but it tastes like it's just too hot. Like they've steamed it too long. And it's like all the time. So I only get coconut milk cold, and they don't usually have hemp milk. So to be honest, I don't buy hot drinks anymore. I make them. Elmhurst is a great company. It's the only like specifically barista milk that I buy. I also use 3 Trees milk if I don't have any milk made that I made at home and I just like need milk, but I don't use that for coffee really. Like that's just a good milk with really minimal ingredients. But you can get a way better deal for milk like that if you make it yourself. So, you know, pop out the blender, grab a cheesecloth. It's not that hard. Making your own food, like preparing your own food from raw, real ingredients is always the best way. And it will keep you feeling young and youthful and good and happy, even if you have a chronic illness. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm going to bed. Thank you for watching. I'm going to not talk anymore. I've done enough talking. My voice is hoarse, and I hope you enjoyed. So if you have some tummy issues, check out Elmhurst. Maybe it will help. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for your support. Love you all. Bye.